Hey y'all, this is the collector on the corners, wife Debbie, and there's that collector. He is using I think he said a subsoiler. There he is. There's the subsoiler. Boy, howdy. Oh my gosh, it's lifting up. This land around here is so hard. I think he's trying to make more bitterweed grow. Don't tell him I said that. Uh-oh, he's gonna run over me. I move back. I think that's just an extra coil. And there's a little boy playing on his toy. Yeah, it looks like what I thought it would look like. A doohickey with a long doohickey hanging down that sticks in the ground. That's what I thought it'd look like. That's a subsoiler, people.
Well, that's a homebrew subsoil.
Yeah, I can tell.
What this was, somebody made an old breaking plow,
Uh-huh.
and it's all, the moldboard wasn't any good on it.
Just
and I put it on here and
conglomerated.
took everything off.
See, look at, oh, now I gotta watch out for the,
But what I got,
see, look at it. It's, what have you got, dear?
this 40 right here, we got 3 acres of it. When I was a kid,
This is
they
the
was the guy,
smallest 40 acres I ever seen.
well, they was the guy had about 30 Shetland ponies in here, and he grazed this
Only 30?
year round. And them ponies eat it right down to the ground.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
had the brush killed out. They more or less half starving.
Well, they didn't eat the bitterweeds, that's for sure.
Well, and this old ground years ago all had cotton allotments on it, and they farmed it, and they farmed that cotton real clean.
Mm-hmm.
And all this ground has developed what we call a plow pan or a hard pan. And it's down there about 6, 8, 10 inches deep most places, about where mule would trump, you know, as deep as you could plow with a mule.
Mm-hmm.
But right here where we're standing,
Yes, sir.
nothing hardly grows with these bitterweeds.
Yeah, I know.
That's all it'll grow. And bitterweeds.
Don't play with it. It makes me choky.
And what it is, there's no topsoil. There's
Yeah.
just that hard pan. The topsoil is washed off.
Well, you could buy some and bring
Yeah,
it
I know.
in.
But what I'm doing, I don't want to plow this and turn it over like we would with a breaking plow. I just want to bust that hard pan up. So if there is a little bit of grass, that grass they turned under, but just like right there.
Uh-huh.
There's a little bit of Bermuda grass.
Oh, boy.
Just a little bit.
You better kill it.
That'll help that. And the second thing I like to do,
Yes.
I like to burn my tin cans.
Oh, my God. He burns
The
his tin
wood
cans.
stove.
Yes.
Tin can,
Uh-huh.
you do that and everything's flat and real nice.
Mm-hmm. And then what do you do with it?
I'm gonna stick it down that crack in the ground as deep as I can.
Why?
See, there's a little Bermuda right there.
Uh-huh.
And what that can will do, it'll rust away to nothing down there, and it'll put a little bit of iron in the soil and give it a little bit of minerals. And it's a good way to get rid of our tin cans.
Okay.
You know, we have very little trash. But anyway, but that's plow pan.
Uh-huh. Plow pan.
And when I was a
Plow
kid,
pan.
Daddy had a field down there, about 10 acres. Wouldn't hardly grow nothing. There was one little place down there that was low, and it was boggy and too wet. And it growed some different grass down there, but the top of that hill was just like this out here. Mm-hmm. All it had was them bitterweeds and pojo on it. And Daddy got old down there, had me on a bee John Deere with a disc and disced it up. He put commercial fertilizer on top of it. Seeded Lespedeze on top of it. Some other kind of grass. Orchard grass, I think. Didn't get nothing. Come up, that's about it. As soon as it quit raining in the middle of summer, it turned to Dust Bowl right there. And then there was a guy come in there and he was associate county agent. Assistant county agent or associate or whatever. And he was a foreigner. He was from another state than Arkansas, I don't know, Tennessee or somewhere. I don't know where he was actually from. But they didn't like him much because he wasn't from here. And he said, well, I'll come out to y'all's farms and look around if you want me to. He said, but if you don't want me, I ain't going to poke my nose where I don't need to be. He said, but if you got something you want to show me or something, he said, I'll come look at it. So Daddy invited him out there to look at that field. He went and he looked at it. He said, we're going to do a soil test. So we got a bucket and we went around that field and got samples of dirt. He come back and he said, that field's got arsenic in it. He said, it's got a lot of arsenic. Most arsenic I ever seen in a field. And what that arsenic was from was them poisoning them boll weevils all them years. And he said, it's got hardpan. He said, you go about 2 inches and you hit that hardpan. Some places it's on top of the ground. You need to break that hardpan. Well, Daddy was working away, and I said, well, we got an Alice Chalmers breaking plow. We'll go get it. So I got it in that H. And I went around there and it barely cut down in the ground 2 or 3 inches, and then it jumped and skid across the top of the ground. It's just smoke. We went down there and I got the welder. And I got some leaf springs, and I welded some leaf springs on the front of them power points, pointing down, sharpen them. That'd make that old plow suck down the ground. Is all that poor little old H would do, pull them 214s in. And it sounded like, when they hit the ground, they sound like you was dropping rocks, little dirt. It was all, we busted that up pretty good, and it rained, and I dished it. And he showed up with a sack of seed. And my dad was there, and he did that soil test, and he told what kind of fertilizer you need. And Dad had went and bought whatever he recommended, I don't know, 10, 20, 14 or something, some kind of seed fertilizer. But Dad had bought that commercial fertilizer. He had some seed. He said, this is grass that nobody grows around here. He said, I bought the seed myself. And it was looked like Johnson grass when it come up, but it was called sorghum alum. Well, I planted that sorghum alum and it grew up and it was spotty. Some places it looked good, and most places it just kind of weakly green looking, didn't look very good at all.
How about bare? Just say bare.
And he said, what I want you to do, he said, get your disc and bring your disc down here and disc it up. We'd pinch it, electric pinch, but cows couldn't get in. So I disced it up, and Daddy come in that weekend. He was kind of didn't like that idea that I dished that field up. That county agent, that guy may not know what he's talking about. We had some grass there, now we got nothing. Well, while I dished that up and cut that off, every one of them sprouts that come up made 3 or 4. And it was twice as thick. And we let that grow up, and he said, now you want to get that in the ground for frost, because if it gets frost hits it and cows get into it, it'll make prussic acid, and that prussic acid will kill them cows. So I dished it down, got that breaking plow and plowed it again, and we planted it to winter wheat and vetch. And had it fenced off, and we was able to graze that winter wheat along about January, February, when the cows really need something to eat. We grazed that down and planted that sorghum alum the next year, and we mowed that for hay and put it, dump rake and rake it up windrows and put it up loose in the barn. And after that, Daddy planted that field to fescue and clover. And it lasted a long time, but he wouldn't rotate the grazing. It probably all got grazed out. And then he put it in the Bermuda grass, and that Bermuda grass stayed there. Cows can graze Bermuda ground, and big lot of it's underground. They won't hurt it much. The drought don't hurt it. But it come a big freeze in '80, real dry all year long, no rain. Then it come a deep, hard freeze, and that Bermuda froze out. and he re-sprigged it again a few years later with Bermuda grass. And the last time I was down there, been several years, but that Bermuda grass was still doing good on that place. But Mr. Baker told me, he said, I used to think that sand down there around Biggers, Arkansas was the poorest land I ever seen in my life. He said, but this 10 acres has got it beat. That's all I'm trying to do is get some grass to grow in this Bermuda. These old bitterweeds, they'll grow where the ground's hard packed. But if the ground ain't hard packed, they can't stand much cultivation.
Oh, they can't?
No, they'll die from cultivation. You don't ever see one in a bean field or a garden or nothing. They just grow where animals. But this year, them bitterweeds has been much, much worse than they've been.
Oh, God, yes, sir.
But that ain't going down.
They're horrible. No, you need to put
It's
about...
only going down about that deep.
Yeah, you need to put about...
Well,
put a car body on the
what
back.
I'll do,
That'll help
my
it.
lift has only got
Yeah.
up pressure, don't have hydraulic down pressure.
Uh-huh.
And I put these weights on here, it wouldn't even be going down as much as it is.
Do you know you got a hat right there?
Yeah.
Oh, is that your,
But what
your
I
special hat?
what I can do is I can put what they call Christmas tree valve up there. I got one up on that hydraulic
I
pump.
like Christmas trees.
And put 2 hydraulic valves back here, and I can make this cylinder go up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can put a cylinder in here too.
Is it going to be one of them red, yellow, and green Christmas trees? So when it gets to green, you take off really fast in your tractor?
Well, it's rusty right now. You can paint it red, yellow, and green, whatever color you want. It just fits on top of that deal, and you run a hose into it, and it makes you have a 2-way hydraulic out of a 1-way hydraulic system. There's some people who know what I'm talking about, a Christmas tree.
Yes, a Christmas tree
For a
is
hydraulic.
a Christmas tree.
But what I was saying, if I had this where it had down
I'm sorry I bothered you, sir.
If I had this where it had down pressure,
Uh-huh.
it'd suck it down the ground. And then if I had this where I could shorten it up or extend it out,
Uh-huh.
I could make that shank a little longer, shorten that up, and raise it up a little higher, and it'd stick further down
Well,
the
you
ground.
could sharpen it a lot more.
Yeah, I'd put a longer one on it that was sharper. But anyway, so that's my
Homemade.
attempt at a home-built cheap subsoiler.
Uh-huh.
But this was a one-bottom breaker somebody had made.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had trouble getting it going on the ground too, because they put this piece on there. I imagine they hung the weight way back here.
Yep.
I hung, that's a front sprocket off a D4 Caterpillar.
Uh-huh.
And
Is it that junky one from over?
No, but that would fit it. But if you look at this, look at the sprocket just a minute. I want to show you something.
Okay, I'm looking.
See that? It's been built up. That was a machine welded that.
Oh.
See, it's been built up. That's actually a good usable sprocket. Front sprocket if you need it, front idler.
Good.
But it's been built up
I have to
with
put it in
welds.
the
See, you can
yard
see it
and-
real plain right here,
I
Debbie.
have to put it in the yard and put
See that
flowers
well?
in it.
That was a machine did that. That wasn't a man did that. That
Oh.
was a machine did that. Rebuilt that.
Because men aren't good enough?
I forget where I got them.
Okay, I'll be
I
quiet.
got them somewhere I didn't need
Men
them.
are the
But I had
best.
that D4 I always thought I was going to do something with, and I said, well,
Yeah.
I'll never wear the front sprockets on.
I could have told you wouldn't do nothing with it,
I know.
but you don't listen to me. I'm going to hide behind the tablet.
Anyway,
Yeah, anyway, I want to say thank
cool
y'all
off,
to everyone who wished me happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you.
we wish good luck to you. And we'll say goodbye and good luck to you.
Thank y'all, and you have a super duper great Sunday. And thank you all for wishing me happy birthday. And you're the best. You all are the sweetest. Thank you all, and please like and subscribe and comment below. Bye.